Welcome everyone to the Experience Your Fear and Take Action Anyway Hangout. Today, this is the Fearless Online Entrepreneur. My name is Rachel Kelly. I'm here with my amazing friends, business partners, Diane Klein and the lovely Jody Maley. Today, we're going to be talking about a very, very important subject, one that many people talk about or don't even realize that they have. One of the things that I've gotten really good at is identifying fear. And why is that? Because I've lived with it most of my life. So therefore, when I see it, it's really simple and easy for me to identify. But when I tell people that they are afraid, they get offensive. Most of us are afraid. Most of us carry fear. Fear is a normal, natural part of life. The problem is when we don't identify it. And when we don't identify it, we fail to take action. Today we're going to be masterminding out of the book by Jack Canfield, The Success Principles. And one of the things that Jack talks about in this particular chapter is actually experiencing your fear and taking action anyway. So you want to. There's a quote by Bob Proctor. We come this way by chance. We can either tiptoe through life and hope that we get to death without being too badly bruised, or we can live a full, complete life, achieving our goals and realizing our wildest dreams. So, why are we so fearful? What is it? Back in the older days, we had reasons to really be afraid. The reasons would be maybe, a snake. I'm terrified of snakes. I think that's where mine kind of came from. A saber-toothed tiger. Those were life-threatening situations. But today, in our day and age, those are not some fears that we would normally live with. The other fears that we have are ones that we have actually put on ourselves. These are fears that we have put in our mind. Oh, I'm afraid to fly a plane because it may crash. Maybe we should stop watching the news so much. No, I'm just saying, these are fears that have been placed in our thoughts, in our mind, and they keep us from moving forward. I'm afraid to take $100 or $200 and invest it into a solo ad. I might lose my money. And instead, we got to learn how to change that and say, okay, well, I may lose it, but then again, I may gain so much more. And I think that's the problem, is that so many people look at the negatives and not the positives. Any successful person that you have ever read or ever heard about, they all have faced their fears, which means they realize that they're there, they're real, but they're taking action anyway. So I'm going to just take a minute and find out from my panel what their thoughts on fear and some of the things maybe that you have fear. I'm going to give one example of myself, and then I'm going to turn it over to Jody and Diane. For me, we do Amazon, we do eBay. These are like different business models that we have for multiple streams of income. And so, one of the fears that of lately that I've had is I had some really bad reviews on my eBay account, right? So, and it came during a time of my life where everything, like kids sick, all that kind of stuff. So I refused to even look at my eBay account. I didn't want to look at it just because, I saw the negative feedbacks, I saw the trouble that my account was in. So, what would I do? I actually avoided it. I'm like, I don't want to touch eBay. I'm not doing eBay anymore because of these negative feedbacks. But what I had to realize was that I was actually limited, but one, it was fear. Fear of, now my account is I was a power seller. Now my account is down, and now I got to go through that again. So I actually went back to listing on eBay and, going through. I mean, it was so bad where I didn't even want to open it up to read the messages because I just didn't want to deal with it. So that was a fear that I had to identify and realize that if I didn't go there, then I would not be able to continue forth in that business. And that has been a very profitable business for me. Same thing with Amazon. Had some, with these accounts, and guys, I'm just going to, for those of you that are doing Amazon and eBay, get in there and learn the rules. Learn what you can and cannot do. This is a business. And since it's a business, you have to treat it like a business. And you need to learn the guidelines so that you don't run into the problems. And I'm not going to say that you won't run into the problems. We're all going to run into, maybe we have to cancel order. But thankfully, DS is making it so, to the point where you know, we won't run into those problems as much because of the tools that are in our back office now. So moving forward, though, you know, I'm now, I put my listings up. I'm ready to go. You know, so that's my little testimony. So I just want to move it over to Diane and Jody and kind of hear, you know, what's your thoughts on fear and how, some different, maybe a situation that's happened in your life and how you face that and the outcome of that. Jody or Diane, you want to come out?
Sure, Rachel. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll come out. Wow, that's a deep one. I'm going to start with my real life one first. In our real life, I think my biggest fear and our fear, my husband and myself, is facing our debts. And our biggest debts are taxes, and that's government debts. And I think a lot of times we feel like if we avoid it and shove it under the computer or shove it in the drawer, it's just going to go away. And it doesn't happen that way. The idea is actually to focus on them, make a plan, and start taking action towards paying off those debts and feeling like you've accomplished those goals. So that's what we're working on right now in our lives. As far as my business goes, I would have to say I'm so comfortable on eBay. I'm kind of the opposite from Rachel. I'm so comfortable on eBay. My fear is now to step out of my comfort zone and start doing the Amazon thing and the FBA. And that's also part of the DSD business that we are in. FBA meaning fulfilled by Amazon, which you would learn once you step into the business. But it's just, for me, I'm the kind of person that takes action. And once I do that first part, I'm actually fine. Like, I'm going to tell you an incident that happened to me yesterday with my eBay. Something happened and something went wrong with my account. Well, instead of freezing in fear, I just said, okay, what do I have to do first to stop this? And that's just the kind of person I am. If something happens, I'm just like, okay, don't panic, don't go crazy. Just go figure out what the first step is and just go for it. So that's how I handle my fear, and those are two of my fears that I wanted to share here.
Awesome. Thank you very much for sharing that, Diane. You know, Diane, as you were sharing, you brought me back to a recent situation that happened in my life when my youngest son was in the hospital, and it was to the point where we couldn't get him to eat or drink. And they had removed the IV, and he still was not eating or drinking. And so it was a fear that, if I take him home, he very well may get dehydrated and die. Then the other fear was, if I leave him in here, he could do the same thing, and there's not much that I can do in the hospital. I'm kind of limited. I'm limited to what I can. I don't have access to things like I do at home. So I just took the faith, and that's really what it's all about. It's taking the faith to believe that, that some people call it intuition. That on the other side is going to be better. We don't know what it's going to be like. We don't know what's going to happen. But the worst thing we can do is not take action at all or do anything. So for me, we took the action. I told my husband, I said, babe, I think we just need to get him out of here. And taking that step, that leap of faith, he came home. He really wasn't, well, actually, he didn't come right away, but he started drinking after we went out and, had to do a couple of things to get him there. But it was just very interesting. But if we had not of, we probably would have left him in that hospital, and I don't know what would have happened then. But you got to take that chance. You have to leap out and take that chance. And Diane, kudos to you. I think that a lot of people, when something does happen in their life, like you were saying, you just go after it. But what happens is when the pressure begins to build up, when the pressure gets to be too much, we do the fight or flight. Some of us will stay there, we'll fight. Or we'll just leave. We'll avoid it because it's too much, and we don't have the energy to put into it to make it work. So it's really, really important that you recognize what is going on. Like for me, I was sharing with someone, I was depressed for like 6 years of my life. So I actually know what the spirit of depression looks like, feels like, and so it's really, really important that you recognize whatever that is that's trying to stop you and keeping you. So if you say, this is fear trying to stop me from going to where I want to go or doing what I want to do, and you got to go face it anyway. You got to go and take the challenge and face it anyway, even though it very well may not work. people take, you get in the car every day, you're taking a chance, And then Jack, he gave a story of a 2-year-old. 2 years olds are afraid of a lot of things, but you cannot allow a 2-year-old keep you from living. You need to go to the grocery store, but the 2-year-old doesn't want to get in the car to ride along because they're terrified. It doesn't matter. You still have to help them take their fears, face their fears. They have to go with you anyway because you have to get your work done. You're not going to achieve your goals of going to the grocery store and getting your groceries. So it's really, really important that you face those fears anyway. Jody, did you want to add anything to that? Or Maria?
Good morning, ladies.
Because I'm hearing a lot of background noise if you're not speaking.
Okay, no problem. A few years ago, I had actually joined a group of ladies. It was a paid program that I actually did, and we were reading the book by Rhonda Britton called Fearless Living. And when a friend of mine recommended that I join this group and stuff, and I thought, okay, the whole thing was talking about how you have your fears and how you move through them. And sorry, my phone is ringing in the background. But you have this, everything that you do is kind of in a fear-based cycle, okay? And when I was reading the book, I thought, I don't have a fear of anything, like I'm the type of person, I just surge ahead and I don't let fear stand in my way. And I thought with my friend who is, who had me join this group, I thought, is she crazy? Like, I'm one of those people that people tell me all the time how strong you are and you've gone through so many things, like a divorce and custody issue, our house burned down, just losing our jobs and stuff like that. And I thought, oh, I have no fear. Now, this is a book I'd actually show a copy to you guys because I don't even keep it in my house anymore. It's one of those books that it comes into my house, and as I'm talking to someone about it, it's like, here's a copy. You need this book. Because I really did find out a lot of my blocks when it comes to health or money or love or self-love is based on a fear basis. And I really liked how Rhonda Britton, she actually shows you the circles that we all go through in a fear-based circle, and if you're in a relationship with another person, they're actually going through the same fear-based circles, but at different times. That's why when they say, opposites attract, or oh yeah, you don't get along with them so good because your personalities are so close to the same. But we all have different wheels of fear. And the one that I figured out when I was doing this thing, and then I had to thank my friend for being right, is going by other people's expectations. And that was really a hard fear for me to face because I thought I was, a person who just went all out there. But really, I had been living a lot of my life based on other people's expectations. Kind of like, you finish school, you get a job, and then you just get any job because you need a job. And then what I found is that I had these circles of fear all through my teens and early 20s and my 30s that it was very enlightening to know that, and to know that fear is it's a warning signal to you and to your body and to your health. So I just wanted to share that if you can go deeper into writing out what your fear is and then take it just one step further. Okay, why are you feeling that way? And then go one step further. How did that saying affect you? Go one step further. Was this something that happened that you heard this in your childhood? And you just kind of go further and further and further into writing out, this is your fear, and then as you write it out, and then you want at the bottom of the page to be what's going to make you step ahead so you can get past that fear. And when you kind of do that exercise and you just kind of go deeper and deeper, a lot of my fears were I was afraid of being left alone. I didn't have a whole lot of self-love is what it ended up being, and I was living my life by other people's expectations, and that's not fun.
Wow, that was really great, Jody, and it's very funny that you actually brought up the exercise that I'm going to have everyone to do. So what I would like each one of you to do
Great
is grab
minds.
a piece of paper. Come to this hangout with paper and pen because you never know when you're going to be given an exercise, right? Grab a pen and a piece of paper. This is going to be a really powerful exercise for you. And what I want you to do is I want you to write down every fear that you have. Now, and the difference is, like I said, there's a fear of spiders. I'm not talking about those fears. Those are just natural fears. But what I'm talking about is, you're afraid to ask for a raise. You're afraid to ask for a date. You're afraid to go bungee jumping. You're afraid to leave your kids at home with a sitter. Or leave a job that you hate, or take a 2 weeks away from your office or vacation. Or ask a friend to look at your business opportunity, or the last one probably be delegate any part of your job to someone else. If you have these fears or something else, I want you to write them down. Just take a couple minutes and write them down. Let me know when you have them written down. Type in, if you're listening on the Hangout, type at the bottom, finish, so that I can know that you are finished, because I am truly, we want you to overcome fear. We don't want fear to stop you from getting the things that you want in life. And it really, really will if you don't do anything about it. So go ahead and write that down. Ladies, let me know when you're finished on the panel, when you finish writing yours down as well. And I will go tick, tick, tick and wait for you.
So how many are we writing down? Like 3? Deep one?
Well, how many do you have?
I have 3.
You have 20, then write them 20 now.
Three that kind of are based around everything.
Okay, how many ever you have, let's do it, baby.
Okay, let's go. First one is, I'm fearful of I used to be very overweight, so I'm fearful of falling back into that again and being overweight and not having the love that I have for myself. The next one is a fear of losing my loved ones. I lost my mom and dad when I was very young. We were a close-knit family. There were 6 of us kids. We were very close, but it was very hard because I was the youngest. The third one is, I think I'm fearful of being a millionaire, because I have this thing in the back of my head of, what if we overspend? What if we don't give enough to other people? I have to overcome this thing of knowing that I'm the type of person, and I'm the kind person that is going to charities, that is going to be volunteering, and that is going to just be out there for who needs me. So those are my 3.
Okay. So Diane, part of the exercise is, thank you very much for sharing that. That was really, really good, and that was really brave of you, because most people don't share their fears because at first they don't even want to look at them. So one of the things that you want to do is you want to now go back and restate each fear using this following format. I want to, right? So Diane, one of yours was, I want to be a millionaire, right? Mm-hmm. And I scare myself by imagining that, if I become a millionaire, that I'm going to actually fail, right? And they call that, because there's like 6 different fears. That's called the fear of success. A lot of people, there's some people that they're fearful of failing, but there are some people that are fear of success. So I want to, overcome the fear of being a millionaire. And I scare myself by imagining that I'm not going to be a millionaire anymore. So what Jack did was, he was on a plane, and there was this woman that was actually terrified. She was literally terrified of, terrified of this plane crashing. She was going to see her grandkids. They were going to go to Disney. But she was trembling, and he asked her to close her eyes. So I'm going to ask you all, close your eyes and tell what thoughts or images you are experiencing in your head right now. Just close your eyes Just for a minute and just think about it. So now tell me, write it down, type it in the chat box, or one of you all want to come out and just tell me, what are you experiencing? What experiences are going in your head as you have written down one of these? Ladies, you want to come out? Anyone you come out and share yours? Diana, you want to share yours if no one else wants to be bold enough? I'm looking at my panelists. I see these people in here, and I think that this would be a great exercise for you as well, those of you that are hanging out with us today. And I want to say thank you for coming out in the event that I did not. Thank you again for coming out.
I can share. I can share what I thought about when I first closed my eyes, because we're talking about me becoming the millionaire and the fear. So my first thought was people talking about us. That's my first thought that came.
Okay, awesome. So now, so he went on, right? Did he actually skip past the fear of people talking about you, right? So tell me, like you want to be a millionaire for what reason? What is your life going to be like once you become a millionaire?
Well, my kids will have the kind of activities they want to be in. They want to be dancers. They want to be singers. They want to have I want my kids to have the lifestyle that they want and not be held down because of not enough funds to fund them. And also, we want to have our own freedom to go on and to flip houses and to do different things in life, that we wouldn't be bogged down because we don't have the sources or the money there to do that.
Okay, and then and hopefully your eyes are closed because I cannot see because I'm looking at my presentation. What would be your favorite part about being a millionaire? Like, what would you do? What kind of fun? What would be your most the favorite thing about being a millionaire?
Well, going on vacations with my family for sure, my husband and my kids, and venturing out and doing more stuff together. Like at this point, my husband is working way too much, so we don't spend enough time together with the kids while they're little.
Okay. Can you see the smiles that's going to be on your children's face and your husband? Can you see yourself laughing, talking, and traveling the world?
Yes.
Okay. And as you're seeing that, how is the anxiety about becoming a millionaire? How is that feeling now? Do you feel as afraid, or do you feel more relaxed?
I actually feel very relaxed. I feel calm. I feel peace.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's the power of this really is a visualization process where you literally, yes, you have a fear, but when you literally close your eyes and see beyond the fear, see beyond. This is Diane did, she saw beyond the fear of being a millionaire to what she really wanted in her life, and it's really really important that we do that. And I definitely would love to hear from those who are listening in. If if there's a fear that you have, and if we can actually help you to get past that. Ladies, either one of you want to share anything else on this particular portion of fear and going forward in fear?
Well, good morning, everyone. Sorry I'm
Morning,
late. One of mine was the same as Diane, the fear of success. Because it's an unknown and you don't have a detailed blueprint. You see yourself there, and
Mm-hmm.
then you got to come back and you got to work your way to where you want to be. And the fear is the unknown. Little things that pop up that can get you off course and make you rethink what you're doing, but you got to stay focused. That's the key, is staying focused. And then I see Lucky and I already millionaires, billionaires, whatever we want to be. And then I see us being able, like Diane say, give to charity, help others to achieve their dreams and goals, and not being sure if what we are giving and what we are doing is in conjunction to the success that we are achieving. And we don't want to be what's the word I'm looking for? Um not givers, we want to be known as people who help people to get to where they want to be. We don't want to seem greedy because we are already there and we just taking over and just say, oh, forget the people out there. That's not how it is. Once you achieve your dreams and goals and you have your clear path, then it's your, in my opinion, it's your job and your obligation to help others to do the same. So once you get there and you know how to do it and everything, help others to get to where you want to be, where they want to be as well.
Awesome. Wow, that was good, Sharon. Thank you very much for sharing. One of the other things that I think that happens is, you know, our fear is so big. It's
Hmm.
like that it paralyzes us. It keeps us to the point where, I can't move. And there are some fears out there that are that bad. And so what you're going to want to do when you run into that situation and you realize that you have a fear that big is you want to scale it down to smaller amounts of risk. So, if it's a big picture, just take a look at the little pictures. And an example here is if you're starting your first job in sales, call on prospects or customers you think would be the easiest to sell to first. If you ask for money for your business, practice on those lending sources whom you wouldn't want to get a loan for anyway. If you're anxious about taking on new responsibilities at work, start by asking to do part of a project you're interested in. If you're learning a new sport, start a lower level of skill. Master those skills you'll need to learn, move through your fears, and then take on bigger challenges. So sometimes, because our fear is so big or the project is so big, that is what causes you to actually, immobilizes you where you don't do anything. So just start taking on those little tiny challenges first, and then it will get better. And then he says, when your fear is really a phobia, some fears are so strong that they actually immobilize you. If you have a full-blown phobia, such as fear of flying or fear of being in an elevator, it can seriously inhibit your ability to be successful. Fortunately, there is a simple solution for most phobias. The 5-minute phobia cure developed by Dr. Roger Callan is easy to learn and can be self-administered as well as facilitated by a professional. So if this is a fear that you have, I highly recommend that you look up the 5-minute phobia cure by Dr. Roger Callan. I learned about this magical technique from Dr. Callan's book and video and how you and have used it successfully in my seminars for more than 15 years. The process uses a simple but precise pattern of taping on various points of the body, tapping, while you simultaneously imagine the object or experience that stimulates your phobic reaction. It acts in much the same way as a virus in the computer program. Ask me about those, right? By permanently interrupting the program or sequence of events that occur in the brain be- between initializing sighting of the thing you are afraid of, such as seeing a snake or stepping into a plane, and the physical response, such as sweating, shaking, shallow breathing, or weakness you experience. When I was leading a seminar for real estate agents, a woman revealed that she had a phobia about walking upstairs. In fact, she had experienced it to that very morning when in response to her request for directions to the seminar, the bellman had pointed to a huge staircase leading to the grand ballroom. Fortunately, there was an elevator. She made it to the seminar. If there hadn't been, she would have turned around and driven home. She admitted that she had never been on the second floor of any home she had ever sold. She would pretend she had already been up there, tell the prospective buyers that they would find on the second floor on the basis of her reading of the listing sheet, and then let them explore it on their own. I did the 5-minute phobia with her, and then took all 100 people out to the same hotel stair, and it had petrified her earlier in the day. With no hesitation, heavy breathing, or drama, she walked up and down the stairs twice. It's that simple. So this is something that I highly recommend that you just can't seem to push past those fears, and there are some, so we're not, trying to beat you up or tear you down because you have this fear. We just want you to get over it so that you can move forward in your business and in your life. Anyone else want to add to that?
You know, a few years ago, well, quite a few years ago now, I actually had a phone phobia fear. And I don't know what brought it on or anything like that, but my oldest daughter was about 4 or 5 months old when this fear kind of settled into me. And I couldn't answer my phone, and I didn't like talking very long on the phone. It's like I had like these panic attacks, like sweat broke out on my upper lip, my hands got all sweaty, and I felt like I was going to hyperventilate and just throw up just from answering the phone or talking to someone on the phone. And then I started a business, and of course, phoning people and hostesses to coach them was a big part of the business. And I just made a point every day. I thought, you know what, this fear is not going to lick me. I am going to get over it, you know, whatever I have to do to get myself over it. So what I did is I'd actually have the phone out in front of me, and I would pick it up and just phone like my best friend or my mom and just say, all I have to do is be on the phone for like 1 or 2 minutes. And I just kind of pushed myself through that fear because I don't even know what had started the fear in the first place. And then in one of my years of business with the candle company I was with, my youngest son, I actually had to be in bed quite a bit because I had a stillborn birth a few years before that. And when I was in bed, I thought, well, I can't do my business. But I thought, no, you know what? I'm going to bring my phone in here with me. So I had to I think it was about 8 weeks before Grayson was born and almost 6 weeks after. So that's quite a long time to be off your feet and not being able to get out and about and stuff like that. But that year in that business, because I took the time that I thought, you know what, I'm just going to phone people, phone for orders, phone my consultants under me, do whatever I had to do. And that phone became my best friend in that year. And I actually won a national award for the company of growing my business. And you know what? If I hadn't overcome that fear years before that, I would have never been able to have that success that I had. So sometimes when you just kind of acknowledge you have the fear, and then it's only going to last so long, and then you just kind of build up a step every day, take an action step to kind of get through that fear.
Thank you very much, Jody. Awesome, awesome testimony, and thank you for sharing that. Also, and the tips that you shared as well. So now, coming to a close, all successful people I have known have been willing to take a chance, a leap of faith, even though they were afraid. Sometimes they were terrified. In most cases, they are terrified. We always say you got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. But they knew if they didn't act, the opportunity would pass them by. So my question to you is, are you ready to act? Are you tired of opportunities passing you by? Are you tired of being in the same place, you know, making the same amount of money, nothing changing? And one of the stories that was in Jack Canfield's book, he told of a young guy who knew that, you know, somebody else was coming to take over a hotel, and he wanted it so bad that he literally, I think he came from Denver, Colorado. No, he came to Denver. I think he came from Maui. And so he literally went all the way to Denver to meet this guy. Did the guy give him the contract right away? No, he didn't. He did not give it to him. But once the guy, you know, moved to take over the hotel, then this guy ended up giving him, securing, it was like, I think it was like $100,000 to make. So, you know, he added like $100,000 to his bottom line as a general manager. So, you know, not taking a chance can actually lead you in the wrong direction in your life. And if you really, really, really want to transform your life, it is really crucial that you take a leap of faith. But just jump in it. You know, don't, you know, I mean, I love it what my business partner always says, imperfect action. You know, when you take imperfect action, you are, you know, first of all, you know, it may or may not be what you want, but you're learning, you're getting experiences, you know, some things are happening. You know, we've been running like solo ads, you know, we're experiencing, we've hired virtual assistants, we've done things that we didn't do before. And, you know, just taking that faith and just applying it. And so when you learn it, you tweak it, you know, you turn around and you, okay, well, you know, this didn't work. What do we need to work on? What do we need to improve? You know, you begin to evaluate and you see, what do I need to do different? So that's, you know, that's it for today. I just wanted to say thank you very much for those of you who came out. And don't forget your dream. Your dream will actually propel you to go for it. So make sure you know your why. Make sure you know why you want to do whatever it is. You know, whatever that fear is that's stopping you. If you don't recognize that why, you know, you won't push anyway. So you got to know your why. Why do I want to be a millionaire? As Diane said, why do I want this? Why? I want to leave a legacy for my children. Why do you want it? Why are you doing what you do? And if you don't have a why, every day you're going to wake up and you're going to be in the same exact place, and you're going to look down 20, 30 years of your life, and you're going to find yourself in the same place doing the same exact thing because you did not take action because there was fear that existed. So again, my friend, I want to say thank you very much for coming out. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, we're over on Facebook. Come to our group, Fearless Online Entrepreneurs Mastermind Group. We would love to have you over there, and we are here to support you in everything that you do and say. And I definitely want to say and welcome Eugenia for coming out with us today, and hopefully you'll be able to come out tomorrow and share some things with us. Have a great day, and we will see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Bye for now.